Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Sessions with Kat. I apologize for being gone for so long. Actually, let me stop lying. I don't apologize. I needed to take care of a few things, especially with finishing up, all of the things for my mother's memorial and whatnot, and also getting myself together. So I'm not going to apologize for that. I'm not going to apologize for needing to do some self healing in the midst of this time that I've taken off. And it was much needed. So I'm back with a clearer head and a better perspective on some things. So uh, I'm back. But I hope you guys have been doing well. I hope you guys have been staying hydrated, that you've been eating properly, you know, calling out the ones who only drink coffee. Um, I hope you've been kind to yourself because you do fucking deserve to do that. And you do deserve to be kind too. So hopefully, the boundaries you have been setting for yourself, people have learned not to cross them and you've learned to uphold them. So let's get into it. Some updates because that's a thing. Um, Instagram still hates me. I don't know why, but they do. They won't let me be great. I can't get into my account. So if you have been trying to contact me on Instagram, I apologize. I 1000% apologize. Because it literally looks like I just like yeeted myself out of Instagram. And the thing is, though, is like I can't get back into my account for some reason. And it looks like I'm gonna have to start completely over. And Spirit's like, not yet, and I'm okay with that, right? So when that does happen, you will know. But if you have my email address or phone number, or you have me on Snapchat, uh, or even if you are on Facebook, like friends with me on Facebook, you'll be able to contact me there. I will leave um, ways to contact me in my description box. I mean, my phone number won't be there, but other ways to contact me. Um, just so you know, I'm alive. I'm well. Um, so yeah, I can't get back in there. It's fucking weird. Me and technology have not always been the greatest anyway. So there's that. Secondly, if you receive my newsletter, then you know I started navigating the fool's journey and I've been doing it a little differently. And I have one group that I'm facilitating with this journey, and I'm definitely open to facilitating more uh, if you're wanting to do the journey. Because within that journey, I'm teaching the ones in there how to read their cards intuitively, right? How to connect with their cards on their level versus the book's level. So that's happening as well. Uh, so if you'd like to get a group started, shoot me an email and we could talk about it. Other than that, I don't have anything, not yet. Maybe in the next couple of videos, I might have a better update for you once I get some things in place. But as of right now, that is it. And let's get into this deck walkthrough and chit chat. So I don't feel like I've gone through this deck from what I can see in my past videos. Um, so I'm gonna go through it. And this deck was in a stack of decks I was going to get rid of. And then I was like, no, I actually want that deck. And I'll pinpoint the card that makes me want to keep this deck, just so you guys know. Um, but I love this Oracle deck. I just didn't know if I wanted to keep it or not. And now I know I want to keep it. So we're gonna walk through it. Just Forewarning, this deck is set up in 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water. So I'm going to go through them accordingly of earth, all the ones in the earth section, and so on. There is nothing in this box outside of the book. So that's the back, and that's the front. So I'm going to move that out the way. Um, I'm trying to think anything else before we get into this discussion. I think that's it. Make sure you have your notebook and a pen and your water, because I don't know why y'all come to this, just like y'all come to my podcast without your notebooks. I don't know why y'all come to class without the supplies y'all need. Like, get it together. But this one I feel like it's a lot deeper. This conversation is gonna be I won't say a lot deeper because I usually keep them surface so I don't talk your fucking ears off. But it's tapping into something that we don't normally look at when we're dealing with trauma and um, just day to day bullshit. And we're gonna get into it. So here's the question, because it's posed as a question. Thanks, Spirit, for that one. Okay. I'm going to put the question in the description box as well, just so that you guys can like have it in case I speak way too fast. Um, but it is posed as a question. So here we go. Here we go. If we knew the source of all of our transgressions, would it be wise to be upset or to do better? Question of the month. The question of our lives, really, right? If we knew the source of all of our transgressions, would it be wise to be upset or to do better? And I think it's not a trick question. I don't think it's a trick question. I don't think that at all. Quite the opposite, actually. You're gonna have your feelings and emotions tied to whatever the situation is or whatever is bothering you. You're gonna have your emotions. However, it's what you do with those emotions that determine where you fall in regards to this question, right? This reminds me of the crystal cave meditation that I do. So I'm curious. I want you to comment below. You don't have to like go into super detail if you don't want to. But I'm curious, what is your answer to that question? Right? What is your answer to, if we knew the source of all of our transgressions, would it be wise to be upset or to do better? And personally, me personally, right? Oh, I can only speak for Catrice, right? It would be wise to do better. It would be wise to, now that you know that information, you can be better, you can do better, you can feel better. It wouldn't be wise to me to sit in that anger, because you're not doing anything but hurting yourself at that point, if that makes sense. Like, I'd rather not. I'd rather fucking not hurt myself, right? Um, and I don't want any of you to hurt yourself. So I think it would be wise to do better. And here's the thing, when we get hit with whatever the bullshit is, right? We instantly are either going to get upset, we're going to get sad, our emotions will come into play. Us who are tapped into ourselves enough, okay? Some people, they don't, their emotions, they can be unbothered, right? They just know better for next time. There's that group. But then there's most of us who are like in tune with ourselves enough that we know that when something bothers us, that emotion is going to pop up. Are we going to dwell in the emotion, or are we going to move forward? Are we going to, allow the healing to take place? Right? And for some people, um, when they dwell in that emotion, that whole, I'm going to get justice, which is really revenge, right? Um, I'm going to retaliate. I'm going to get back. I hope karma this, karma that. Is that wise? Is that really your way of doing better? Not really, because you're still not going to get um, any closure from retaliating, like, or coming back after the person. You're not going to get any closure from that. So I would think, okay, I would think that it would be wise to just do better moving forward, to set the healthier boundary, right? To find yourself growing versus wilting and dying from whatever that is, right? I would think it wise to be on the right side of that question, right? Because think about it, when let's just think about it in terms of like if somebody hurt you and you went, all right, let me just show them that I'm moving past this, and then you decided, oh, hey, I'm going to do better. I'm going to go and I'm going to, you know, do yoga or something like that, right? Like I'm literally making that example up off the top of my head, right? Um, we're moving on to air. Uh, and you decide to just do better, right? And then when you come back, they're like, most people are thinking like, oh, what I said to you, I thought it would keep you down. I thought it would push you down. I thought it would do this. Their thinking is that whatever they said to you would hurt you, right? When you feel better that you went and healed, when you feel better knowing that you went on ahead despite whatever they were trying to do or say to hold you back, when you feel better knowing that you were like, I defeated the odds, I beat the odds, right? When you feel better with that. And I think that's where this question is coming from. It's a sense of, hey, once you've endured some type of trauma, some type of, you know, blow, can you transform for the better or for the worse? Right? Meditation for clarity. Like that's literally what that is. It's like, can you do better or can you do worse? And the reality of it is, if you're one of those petty ass signs and you know who you are, okay, you know who you are. This is one of the two cards that made me keep this deck. This is number 2 of the two cards, but this is one of the cards because it came up. But like, think about that. Think about that. Like, would you really be better off staying upset? Because then you're just stuck in this cycle of pissed offness, right? That's not a word, I made it up, right? Like, you're just stuck in this cycle of bullshit, right? Nothing grows in that cycle but your anger. And then it just fucking eats at you. It like tears you apart to the point where you begin to hate. Okay, and I'm using that word. I don't like to use that word, but like you get to a point where you hate something or someone or whatever, right? And then that leads to even more anger, right? Because now you're like, whoa, like what the fuck, right? And I'm gonna tell you right now, anger is just frustrated desire. You're angry because this person did not do what you desired of them to do, right? Or they did you in a way that you would never do yourself. You're holding them accountable as if they are you. Wrong move, right? Wrong move. But think about it. Think about it. Is it wise to sit in that energy? To sit in that pettiness, right? That pissed offness? Is that really wise? Or is it better to, after whatever was done is done, you learn from it, number one. Number two, you put a boundary in place so that that shit doesn't happen again. And number three, you move forward. You do better now that you know better, right? Now that you've taken care of that vulnerable space that you were in or that vulnerable position, you now can do better. You can feel better. You don't have to talk to that person anymore if you don't wish to, right? You can speak up for yourself. Which side are you on, right? Are you going to be petty? Because you can do that. I mean, that's your choice. We're on the fire now, just so you guys know. That's your choice. that is a personal choice, right? I think that's where the personalization of that question comes in. Which side do you want to fall on? Now I know a lot of clients, particularly mine. I can only speak for mine. They'll come to me because they holding some type of anger, some type of resentment, some type of something, and I'm over here like, so you just burning your own hands, trying to understand it, right? And y'all gotta understand this. These are questions I also ask myself, right? Whenever I feel like I'm in these positions, first thing I'm gonna say, I'm like, am I gonna keep burning my hands on this shit, or I'm gonna go ahead and move forward? It's best that I go ahead and move forward. Because if I keep burning my hands, I ain't gonna be able to feel life. I'm not gonna be able to feel each experience that I have moving forward. I'm gonna be, so bitter. I'm gonna be hard and crusted over. I'm not gonna be able to enjoy anything. So it's better that I move forward, learn from whatever that was, and do better than it is to sit and be upset. Because I know how it is when I get upset. Everybody getting burnt, right? And that's where that saying hurt people, hurt people. I don't want to be one of those people. like I that's the only way I can really explain that, right? I have no desire to be one of those people who hurt because they're hurt. I want to be able to say, listen, I was hurt, but I don't want anybody else to be hurt the way that I was. So I'm gonna go ahead and walk in this new lesson, walk in this new light. It to me, it's just better to do better, right? This card, this card. This is number one of two. So yeah, y'all saw the other one, which was the air card. This is the fire card. It's something about the energy in this card, let alone the beauty in it, but it's the energy in here and the color of these garments. Um, it's giving, it's giving me everything, and I'm here for it. So this is the other card, um, and it's given the passion. But going back to our conversation, like, what is your take on it? I'm genuinely curious. Like, what is your take on, you know, dwelling in the bullshit versus healing and moving better, like moving into a better um, position, for lack of a better word. I'm genuinely curious how you guys would answer this question because, like I said, it's going to be different for everybody, and that's okay. Like, it's okay if it's different for everybody, but it's understanding which side of that question you really are on. And some people are not ready to do better. They need to be in their emotions for a little bit longer. And that's okay as long as you don't plan on living there forever, right? As long as you don't plan on living there forever. And side note, squirrel. Anyway, this is the Oracle. There is a tarot deck. Um, my tarot deck was gifted. And you know who you are. My tarot deck was gifted to someone, and I need to replace it. But and when I say it was gifted, I gifted it because Spirit told me to cough it up. But there is a matching. I don't want to say matching, but there is a tarot set of tarot that goes with this. Um, but it's like, how can I say this? How can I say this? Say you're trying a recipe for the first time, right? And this recipe calls for, like, say it's chicken Alfredo, because it should be easy for those of you who know how to cook. If it is not, then that's your business, okay? I'm not gonna fight you on it. But say it's chicken Alfredo, and you're making this from scratch, and you have all the ingredients on hand to do 2 runs of this, okay? You get to do your first run, and you get the second run. So you have enough to do 2 runs of this recipe, okay? And you do the first run, right? And after you do it, you go, this shit needs more salt. Let's just say that, right? Say you need to add more salt, more pepper, right? So to that first batch, you add more salt, more pepper, but you overdo it. Okay, so now there's no coming back from it, right? And here's the thing. Do you just give up on the recipe, or do you go ahead and do that second run? Because now you know better, right? Now you know the source of your issue here, right? That your recipe should call more, like the way your taste buds are set up, it calls for more salt and more pepper. Not too much, right? But not what the recipe originally called for. Do you give up completely, or do you do the second run? Me personally, I would do the second run. I would do the second run. Because obviously I bought enough to do 2 runs. I knew the first one was a trial and error. Like, it was literally me going, okay, now I know what I need to add. Like, so now I can do better, right? Some people, though, some people will get full ass upset, pissed off, if you will, and just chuck everything and never go for the second run. They'll just stop. They'll be like, fuck this shit, it didn't work. Give up so quick. Are you one of those people? Is your patience that thin that you just give up, right? Or do you have enough patience to try again and then add the right amount of salt? Kind of taste it as you go, right? Because that's a thing too. Sorry, y'all, I gotta go back to this card. Interesting. Okay. Sorry, it was messaging in. I was pulling it. And I'm gonna write it down because I keep a notebook and whatnot there. But are you going to give up so easily? Are you going to just quit, or are you going to go for that second run, right? Are you going to give it another go now that you know better and now that you know how to kind of alter the situation for yourself? And sometimes we don't fully think about that, like when we're, you know, in the mindset of it. Some people are like, man, this already took long enough. Why would I do it again? Right? Me personally, I'm like, it only took that long because this is your first time doing the recipe. Now you know a little bit more. That makes it a lot easier, right? You also know the things that you need to alter, so that makes it easier too, right? Would you give up, or would you keep going? That's essentially what this question is asking, right? If you knew the source of it, right, would you remain upset or would you do better? So those of you who watch this video, thank you. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all that greatness, but also comment. I want to know genuinely, what would you do? Like, what is your answer to this question? And I want like, what would you do? Right? What would you do? I love the little baby turtles. I love that there's a fucking cat everywhere in this deck. Um, like I'm I like animals. I'm more of a dog person, but I also love cats. Um, so I love that there's a familiar in each one of these cards. At least one familiar in each one of these cards. I'm gonna do it one more time. Top or bottom, top or bottom, top, top, top. Meditation for peace and serenity. And there's your card for the week. But do me a solid. Answer the question in the comments. I will put the question in the description box for you to go ahead and journal on. This is more of a journal prompt type video, I suppose. Remember to stay hydrated. Be kind to yourself. Love on yourself. Do whatever you have to do to bring some joy back into your life, right? In a healthy way, that is. Remember to practice mindfulness and that you matter and that your health matters. Your everything about you matters. I want you guys to always remember that. And I wish you all the brightest of blessings. Bye.